What up guys, and welcome back to Thomas Reacts here on the 360 experience with myself, Thomas Maba. So today we are talking about the African National Congress. You know, the ANC lately, they've been talking about apartheid. The African National Congress has been blaming everything that has been happening in South Africa on apartheid. Guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, in Joburg a few weeks back, there was a building, a hijacked building that was turned into an informal settlement, and that building caught fire. And after that building caught fire, over 70 people lost their lives there and over 40 people lost their lives. But the ANC Minister of Social Development went there and she blamed everything that happened on apartheid. And before the African National Congress did its ANC manifesto review in Dobsonville Stadium, the president of the African National Congress, Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, was talking with the media, and during that discussion, President Ramaphosa mentioned something that made a lot of people angry. President Ramaphosa said that in the country right now, in South Africa, there's a lack of capacity within the government, and the apartheid government didn't produce enough town planners. The apartheid government didn't produce enough CFOs and enough engineers, and the president basically blaming apartheid governance for not having enough engineers and for having a lack of capacity within the government. And a lot of people were angry. If you can really consider the fact that in South Africa we have a high number of unemployment rate, a lot of people were angry. How can the president say that the reason why there's a lack of capacity within the government is the fact that the apartheid government didn't produce enough engineers, CFOs and town planners? Man, just when you thought the African National Congress couldn't go any lower, the ANC Minister of Transport said that she said that the reason why our railways are the way they are today, it is because the apartheid government didn't invest enough in our railways. This is despite the fact that 2 years ago, or maybe just during Zuma's presidency, the trains were working nicely, but under Ramaphosa, you know what happened. So they are blaming everything on apartheid. And today, guys, I'm going to show you a video of the Minister of Mineral Resources, Gwede Mantashe. And Gwede Mantashe is also going to remind the people of the role that apartheid played in South Africa. And he's also going to remind the South Africans that it is unfair to expect the ANC to fix anything in 30 years when apartheid ran for like 300 years. So guys, today I'm going to try to break it down to you why the ANC is saying what they are saying and how the ANC is going to approach this election, and I'm going to show you how effective their structure, their campaigning is going to be. So guys, I hope that you stick around. Please make sure that you stick around so that we can break this down to you. So guys, here's the video of the Minister of Mineral Resources, Gwede Mantashe, basically blaming everything on apartheid.
You must remember, half the time we will loosely say the ANC has been in power for 30 years. Loose statement. First 5 years was a government of national unity. First 5 years was a government of national unity. There's something unique about that 5 years. All economic portfolios were given to the Nationalist Party. All of them, without exception. So it means of the 30 years, there is the 5 years that were not fully in charge.
So basically, the ANC, you can only hold the ANC accountable for the things they have done for 25 years. So don't mind that 5 years, because that 5 years was the government of national unity. That's what the Gwede Mantashe is saying right here, that if you wanted to hold the ANC accountable, stop saying that the ANC has been running the country for 30 years. The ANC has been running the country for 25 years. That's what Gwede Mantashe is saying.
Now, many people who criticize us say we must never make reference to apartheid. We must never, because apartheid, after 30 years, what they forget, a few things, is that this country was colonized for more than 300 years. And apartheid, as the architect gave Malan, not the artisan, Winifred Wood, H.F. Malan, the architect, was in charge for 40 years. Now, people are expecting us to clean the slate in 30 years, a slate that was destroyed for more than 200 years.
Guys, it's unfair to expect the African National Congress to fix anything in 30 years. Stop blaming the African National Congress for everything that is wrong in South Africa. Stop blaming these guys. Stop reminding the African National Congress that they are in charge. Stop telling them that they've been in charge for 30 years, man. It is not fair to expect the African National Congress to fix everything in 30 years, man. That's what Gwede Mantashe is saying. Man, listening to these guys, man, it's unreal. It's unreal when you listen to these guys speak, man.
And more than 40 years. I think we must insist on referring to apartheid and actually acknowledge the consequences of apartheid. You know, apartheid didn't prepare us to govern. Dr. Verwoerd gave us a lesson. He says, I set up a system of apartheid which no government subsequent to us governing will ever reverse the consequences. But when we say those consequences are still with us up to today, people want to say 30 years we must clean this thing. And I think that is short-sightedness. That apartheid system gave us Bantu education. It didn't prepare us to govern. And we did trial and error to govern. That's why now those who are against us will criticize the deployment strategy of the ANC because they want us to quickly forget that in 1994, every head of department in this country was a white male. We've changed that totally.
Yes, we've changed that totally. Right now, we have cadres right there in government. We have people who actually don't know what they are doing, but we support these people because these people are the members of the African National Congress. You need to understand that before 1994, our government was run by white people, but post 1994, we made sure that we changed that. We don't care about the qualifications. We don't care about people's capabilities to actually do the job. We don't care about that. We care about the fact that they are black people.
And we must acknowledge that over these years we've changed that. We've given and promoted our people to learn and also assent to government.
I know, guys, I know many of you listening to Gwede Mantashe right now, you can't believe your ears. You can't believe what you are hearing from Gwede Mantashe. You can't believe that right now, ANC, after 30 years, they are still blaming the apartheid for everything that they have done. But today, guys, I want to show you guys, I want to try to break it down to you. I'm going to try to break it down to you because I've also made a few notes so that I don't forget what I wanted to talk about. The first thing is that, guys, you have to understand that the African National Congress is going to blame the apartheid for everything that happened in the country. And despite the middle class South Africans actually calling them out on the fact that they are blaming everything on apartheid, you have to understand that in South Africa, majority of people in this country are poor people. Majority of people in this country are poor people. And these people, they actually depend on African National Congress for everything. Majority of South Africans right now, they depend on African National Congress for the SASSA grants. They depend on African National Congress for everything, basically. And when the African National Congress goes to these people and starts saying that everything is wrong in our country, we know that we haven't been perfect, but we are blaming everything on apartheid. Guys, people who are a bit advanced will call out the African National Congress. But in general, people on the ground, people in the townships, they are not going to call out the African National Congress. And this is why I keep telling people that the African National Congress campaign strategy, man, is very lethal. It's very lethal because before you criticize the African National Congress, you have to understand who the African National Congress is talking to. You have to understand that the African National Congress is talking to poor people of this country. The African National Congress is talking to people in this country who have experienced apartheid. And most of these people who have experienced apartheid are people who are not shy to go to the polls and vote. Because it has been proven that right now in this country, young people in this country are not even interested to go out to vote. So till today, people who voted in apartheid, they still decide what actually happens in South Africa. So when the African National Congress starts blaming everything on apartheid, you can bet your last dollar that this message is going to sink into a lot of voters, a lot of people who still cherish the idea of going to the polls and vote. It's clear, guys. It's clear. Young people in this country today, they are not even interested to vote. That's why the elections are always decided by all the people in this country. People who won't even be here. For this government, they keep electing. They won't even be here for the consequences of that. We are going to be here for the consequences of that. But it seems like the young people in this country, they don't care about the fact that in 20 years, 30 years, they are going to inherit the country that was run by the African National Congress. And that country is going to be a mess. It is going to be a mess. So that's why I say, guys, I don't understand why the young people in this country, they don't like the idea of going to vote. Like, it frustrates me so much knowing that all the people in this country are the ones who still decide what's happening in the country. While we sit there and complain, you know, young people, we like to sit back and complain. We like to go to social media to complain. That's what we do. But when it comes time to do something about that, we don't want to do anything about that. So that's what's been happening, guys. First of all, guys, do not underestimate the loyalty of South Africans towards the African National Congress. That is the big mistake. Do not underestimate the loyalty of South African voters towards the African National Congress. Man, I've said it before that people are approaching the African National Congress as if they are approaching just a political party. Man, the African National Congress is not just a political party. The African National Congress is an ideology, man. You have to understand that these people, they keep taking, like, they take credit for actually defeating the apartheid government. They take credit for taking South Africa from slavery to actual freedom. So people still cherish the African National Congress. Why? Because the majority of people in this country are poor people. Majority of people in this country, they depend on the African National Congress for everything. Because if you really have to think about it, man, an average South African is a poor person. And that person was given a house by the African National Congress. That person maybe has like 2 kids. You're getting a grant. And the African National Congress is taking credit for that. And this person is still getting the 350. The African National Congress is taking credit for that. And this person, they have water in their houses. And the African National Congress is taking credit for that. So you have to understand that you can't just tell people to stop voting for the African National Congress when they can go and remind the people that this is what we have done for you. This is why the minister of the ANC Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lusufi was saying that the people must not judge the African National Congress on these 5 years, on these wasted 5 years of Ramaphosa. No, don't judge the African National Congress on these 5 years. Judge the African National Congress on what they have done since 1994. And I'm telling you, this message is going to resonate to a lot of voters in this country, because a lot of voters, they still depend on the African National Congress. Man, you have to understand that there is a fear amongst the people in this country. There's a fear amongst a lot of voters in this country that if we vote for another party, maybe our grants may be taken away. And a lot of people are depending on that grant money, and the African National Congress is taking the credit for everything. It's not telling them that it is the government. No, it is the ANC that is doing it. That's what the African National Congress is saying, guys. So when they go out and start blaming the apartheid, you have to understand that this is only the first step of the African National Congress. They haven't even started campaigning. This is the first step of the African National Congress. And the other thing that actually makes people makes people always reconsider when they have to vote for another party besides the African National Congress is the fact that our media is colluding with the African National Congress. Our media is colluding with the government. I'm saying this because every time when we approach the elections, you guys just watch the content that has been pushed on television, man. Before you even know it, they will be playing those apartheid movies. They will be playing those apartheid documentaries, man. They will be doing those interviews. They will be talking about Chris Hani. They will be talking about how bad the apartheid government was. Man, before you even know it, people will be riled up in South Africa. Man, even people who didn't even experience apartheid will tell you how bad white people are going to tell you how bad white people are. Why? Because the propaganda will be on their televisions. The propaganda will be on their cell phones. Man, that is what is going to happen, man. These guys, every time before the elections, man, they start riling people up with this whole apartheid movies, with the apartheid documentaries, making people actually forget what they have done, making people forget how corrupt they are. They make people forget about the things that are there right in front of their faces. And they run on this race issue. And the race issue is very important for the African National Congress. That's why they keep saying that do not vote for the DA. If you vote for the DA, hey, maybe you don't know, maybe apartheid may be back. Man, South Africans, man, like, it's going to be hard for them to vote for another party besides the African National Congress. And you have to understand that these are the poor people, man. These are the people who depend on the African National Congress for everything. So before they put their X next to another party, not the African National Congress, they're going to think about everything that the African National Congress has done for them. That's why right now, even Panyaza Lusufi is telling you that the African National Congress is going to run with this message that do not judge us on the past 5 years. So you must judge us on what we have done for the last 30 years. And this message is going to resonate to a lot of people. This is why I said that the opposition parties in our country, man, they are not ready, man, to take on the African National Congress. They are not ready. They are not ready to get their hands dirty. That's why even in our townships, we don't see opposition parties. We don't see their banners. We don't know where their offices are. If you can go to an average South African, maybe in a township, and ask them about the political parties they know, they will tell you about the African National Congress, they will tell you about the Democratic Alliance, they will tell you about the EFF, they will tell you about the IFP. All these new political parties, man, no one knows them. No one knows these political parties, man. So this collusion, guys, I don't know if it's a correct word. This collusion between the African National Congress and our media, it is a problem because you have to again understand that the corporate South Africa backs the African National Congress. It's behind the African National Congress. Without the African National Congress, the corporate South Africa wouldn't be doing everything they want. So they are backing the African National Congress to still run the country so that they can do everything as they please. And guess what? Our media listen to the corporate South Africans. They take the messages from the corporate South Africans, and what those messages are going to be: play the apartheid movies, remind them of what this country has been. Men, make these people forget about everything that the African National Congress has done for the past 5 years. This is why every time when it's elections, people do not go on the polls to vote because they want better service delivery. No. It is always about the fact that, guys, if you elect other person, maybe your grant may be taken away. And you must always remember what the African National Congress has done for you. So, guys, I know that I'm rambling around, but I have these many points in my head because the media is going to play a huge role, man, in 2024. The African National Congress is fighting for its existence. That's why they are pulling out all the guns. That's why they are blaming apartheid. That's why they are talking about judging us from 1994. Forget about what Ramaphosa has done for the past 5 years. You must judge us based on what we have done since 1994. You've heard even the Secretary General of the African National Congress, Fikile Mbalula, was telling the people that, guys, you didn't have waters in your houses. Now you have the waters because of the African National Congress. You didn't have houses. African National Congress built you those RDPs. You have kids, and the African National Congress is taking care of those kids by giving you the grants. You are not working. The African National Congress is giving you the 350 for not working, for sitting at home and doing nothing. If you have 2 kids and you are not working, you're getting how much? 1,350 every month for doing nothing. And you think that it's going to be easy for people to simply push the African National Congress out of the way. Man, it is going to be so hard, man, to take out the African National Congress. It's going to be so hard because the media is going to be there reminding the people of apartheid. That's what the media is going to be doing. It's the role of media every election season. It is the role of the media to blame everything, to play these movies, to play these documentaries that are gaslighting people, to make people feel angry, to make people forget about everything that has been happening right now, to make people vote on emotions. They don't want people to vote on what they think. They want people to vote on emotions. Man, you really have to understand that. And I'm saying these things, guys, because I'm trying to warn you, because I've heard people saying that, no, the African National Congress is done. No, right now, the African National Congress is done. We are done. Man, that's what people said in 2019. That's what people said in 2019. People said that the African National Congress is done. And guess what? The African National Congress still managed to win. But for some reason, people think that in 2024, the African National Congress, just like that, is going to lose the elections. Man, it's going to be harder for the African National Congress to lose the elections. And when the African National Congress starts blaming everything on apartheid, man, people who maybe people who I can say are a bit sophisticated, they can see through that bullshit. But the sad part is that it is not a majority of them in the country. Majority of people are people who are poor, people who still listen to messages like this, people who still love the African National Congress, who are loyal to the African National Congress. So they don't care about the fact that maybe a smaller percentage of people who are wise enough can call us out on that, but they know that the majority of South Africans, but they vote on emotions. They don't vote on they don't vote on nothing. So this is why I said that the ANC election campaign, man, it is lethal, guys. Do not underestimate the ANC campaign strategy. It is lethal. I'm telling you, it is not going to, guys. It is not going to be hard for the African National Congress, man, to start going to communities, man. People in our communities are allowing the African National Congress members to come to our communities, despite everything the African National Congress has done. People in our communities are welcoming the African National Congress members when they come to our communities. Guess what? During the election season, these people are going to give away a few RDP houses. These people are going to give away blankets. These people are going to give away the food parcels. I know that people will be like, nah, the African National Congress always gives out people the food parcels, the blankets, and the RDPs just to make them vote for them, and that thing, it must stop. But I'm telling you guys today that this thing, it works. It works. Once the African National Congress starts coming to our townships, man, people are welcoming to the African National Congress despite everything they have done. Once the president starts coming to our neighborhoods, people welcome the president with warm hands. This is why I told people that if you thought that people no longer love the African National Congress, you must remember that not so long ago, the African National Congress did an ANC manifesto review in Dobsonville Stadium. And guess what? That stadium was packed. They went to Limpopo, and guess what? That stadium was packed. And I also told people that Ramaphosa not so long ago was doing a speech near where I stay. There's a field near where I stay. And guess what? People went there, man. So when Ramaphosa starts going to people, when Ramaphosa starts going to our communities, because the one thing that I must give the ANC credit for is because these guys, they are not shy to get their hands dirty, man. The ANC is not shy to get their hands dirty, man. There are people are already doing the rounds up. I mean, there are people are not shy to get their hands dirty, and our oppositions men are shy to get their hands dirty. That's why you will never even find these opposition parties. It is hard, man, to find them in our townships. You can't find them. You can't find these opposition parties in our townships. You don't know where they are. People in our townships, they don't know about these new parties that they've recently popped out of nowhere. People don't know about these parties, but people still understand the African National Congress, and the people in our communities are still welcoming the African National Congress when they come to our communities. So if you are a bit sophisticated, you can say that these people are giving people food parcels and blankets, and it's an insult to South Africans to give them blankets and food parcels and t-shirts to vote for the African National Congress. But guess what? While they are doing so, they are reminding these people that, we've built you this house. We've built you this house. Today you have water running in your house. And guess what? It is because of the African National Congress. You wouldn't be staying where you are staying right now because of what? Of the African National Congress. They go to our grandmothers and our grandfathers, and they are telling them, guys, we are taking care of you. We are giving you the grant. We are giving you, we gave you the houses, we gave you the water, we gave you the electricity. Man, in South Africa, there's a free electricity. If you don't know that, there's a free electricity. Come to our townships. Come to learn about these things. There's something called the free electricity in our townships. Our elderlies, our grandfathers and our grandmothers, man, are being given free electricity. And these are the things that they cherish. And these people are not shy to go to the polls and vote. So people who simply enjoy sitting at home and criticizing the African National Congress, but they don't want to go out there and vote out the African National Congress. No, they don't want to do that, especially young people. Man, I'm so pissed off at the young people right now. I am so pissed off at the young people right now. So the African National Congress is going to do that, guys. It is going to go to people. It is going to go into communities. It is going to blame the apartheid. The media will be there playing its role, making people remember what happened in South Africa. The media will be there reminding the people of South Africans about apartheid. It will be there reminding the people of South Africa of how bad white people are. It will be there reminding the people of South Africa of how South Africans were being treated. That's why you will find even people who didn't experience apartheid telling you about apartheid. It is because the media will be there doing their bidding for them. And again, you must never underestimate the loyalty of South Africans towards the African National Congress. South Africans have this strange loyalty towards the African National Congress. They have this strange loyalty towards the African National Congress. And I know that right now, when you watch our news, you can hear a lot of people saying that service delivery and load shedding, the African National Congress is not delivering, and this whole thing of load shedding it is going to take down the African National Congress. Man, I'm telling you, you are sadly mistaken. Because one thing I can tell you is that service delivery and load shedding will never be a factor in 2024 elections. Service delivery and load shedding will never be a factor in 2024 elections. Why am I saying that? Because it is not like South Africans have experienced a nice service delivery, man. It is not like South Africans never complained about service delivery, man. Year in, year out, it has been decades now. South Africans have been complaining about service delivery. But throughout the years, South Africans still go out there and vote for the African National Congress. Despite their bad service delivery, the people still go out there and vote for the African National Congress. So saying that there's a bad service delivery and that is the reason why the African National Congress is going to fall down, you are sadly mistaken if you think that service delivery is a factor when it comes to average voters in South Africa. The average voters in South Africa, they don't care about service delivery. They have proven that. They don't care about the fact that their infrastructure is crumbling. They don't care about the fact that their townships have turned into illegal dumpings. They don't care about that. They don't care about that. They've been voting for African National Congress for how long? South Africans have been complaining about service delivery for how long? But people still go out there and vote for the African National Congress. And when it comes to load shedding, man, it is insane. It is insane. People thought that load shedding, and I personally, guys, I was one of those guys who personally thought that load shedding was going to be one factor that is going to take down the African National Congress. I thought, guys, out of all things, load shedding is going to be the one thing that is going to take down the African National Congress. But I quickly realized that no, I'm sadly mistaken. Because guess what? The African National Congress it is going to get load shedding under control maybe for like 2 months before the elections. But the African National Congress is going to get load shedding under control for like 2 months or 3 months before the elections. And guess what? The opposition parties, they cannot run on load shedding when people have electricity. This is what they are going to do. And again, South Africans have gotten used to load shedding. Who would have thought? South Africans have gotten used to load shedding. You hear people saying that I prefer the schedule from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. I don't like the schedule of 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. People have preferences right now. They don't care about load shedding. They have gotten used to load shedding. So I don't think campaigning on load shedding, especially when you come to our township, campaigning about load shedding, man, It is not going to be it is not going to be effective, man. You know, when it's stage 6, when we are in stage 6, like right now we are in stage 6, I think you'll hear a lot of people saying that we barely have electricity, man. I'm not going to vote for the African National Congress, mainly because these guys are failing to give us electricity. But guess what? When they announced that, no guys, it is no longer stage 6, but right now it is stage 1, people are good with that. And they will tell you that, nah, man, I know that I said I'm not going to vote for the African National Congress, but it seems like they got everything under control. So banking on load shedding, it is going to be it's a bad idea. If you are an opposition party, guys, do not bank on load shedding, because if these guys get load shedding under control for 3 months, South Africans have a very short memory. You guys You guys have a very short memory, man. South Africans have a very short memory, man. If the African National Congress gets load shedding under control for 3 months before the elections, man, no one will be talking about load shedding. No one will be talking about how bad load shedding has actually affected South Africa right now. No one will be talking about that. No one will be talking about that. So banking on load shedding, guys, it is a bad idea. Do not bank on load shedding. Do not bank on service delivery. Man, the average voters in the country, they don't care about those issues. They still vote for the African National Congress. That's why I said that it is going to be hard for people not to vote for the ANC, man. The people are beholden to the African National Congress. And to seal everything, you know what the African National Congress is going to do? They are going to remind the people of this and start telling them that there is no alternative. Panyaza Lusufi has already done it. On the latest interview Panyaza Lusufi has done, he said that there is no alternative for South Africans. South Africans know that there is no alternative. Their only hope is the African National Congress. They are going to do that. While they are gaslighting people with apartheid content on television, they are going to do that. They are going to remind the people, like, guys, there is no alternative. We are the only ones. We understand that we didn't do everything that we said that we are going to do. But you can judge us from 1994. Be honest with us. Don't you have houses right now? Yes, we have houses. Don't you have electricity right now? Yes, we have electricity. Don't you have water right now? Yes, we have water right now. Don't you have grants right now? Yes, we have grants right now. But guys, the African National Congress is taking care of you. And as an opposition party, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm so interested to hear what opposition parties are going to do to distract this plan of the African National Congress, because this plan always works out for them. This plan always works out for them. You blame apartheid. The media plays its role. Gaslight people into apartheid. Man, South Africans are loyal to the African National Congress. They give away a few RDPs, few blankets, food parcels. Ramaphosa goes to old age homes. He starts kissing our grandmothers and our grandfathers. He gets the media coverage for that. They remind people of SASA. They remind people of free electricity. They demonize everything. They're going to demonize all the opposition parties. They're going to demonize them. These guys, they don't have experience, guys. You cannot afford to elect people who don't have experience to run the governance. We have been in charge for 30 years. We know what's happening right now. That's what the African National Congress is going to say. So guys, I'm telling you these things because I'm trying to warn you. I'm trying to make you understand that these measures, what African National Congress is doing right now, it is very lethal. It is very lethal. I know people are saying this is insane. It can be, man. It is insane. It can be. But I'm telling you right now that the African National Congress, they have a base. People who always vote for the African National Congress, dark or blue, these people will go to the polls and vote for the African National Congress. We have a huge crisis in South Africa. A lot of people are not interested to vote, especially young people in the country. They are not interested to vote. And even right now, it looks like young people are still not interested to vote. We simply just want to sit back and blame everything on African National Congress. Guys, what can you do? What can you do to combat this? What can you do? If you think that it's going to be so easy, what can you do? Because, like, guys, the first thing that I said that is like, if you want to take out the African National Congress from the governance, it is not only the job of your favorite political party, man. It is your job too to help them kick out the African National Congress out of parliament, or to kick out the African National Congress out of governance. It is your job too. If you are an average South African who is sick and tired of the African National Congress running this country, it is your job too to help your party to kick out the African National Congress. Man, the first thing that I've said is that if you are really serious about kicking out the African National Congress out of governance, man, you yourself, the first thing that you must do is that with your group of friends, or with your family, or with your relatives, or with your everything, each person must go out there and get 5 people who didn't vote in the last elections, and make sure that these people are not going to vote for the African National Congress. It is not only the job of opposition parties to make sure that the African National Congress is no longer in power. It is your job too. Gather your families, man. Gather your friends. Open up WhatsApp groups, man. Encourage people who are not interested to vote, to go to the polls and vote. Because that is the only way, guys, you can take out the African National Congress from governance. Because if you're going to rely on the same people who go to the polls and vote, you are going to be very disappointed. You are going to be very disappointed. So I'm telling you, if there's a 5 of you in your group, each person must at least mobilize 10 people who didn't vote in the past elections to go out there and vote out the African National Congress. If there's 5 of you, each person must go out there and get 10 people who didn't go out there and vote in the last election. So it is your job too, guys. It is your job. Guys, I'm trying to make you understand that it is your job too. And these political parties, man, they need to understand that making people aware or educating people about the votes, and making them understand the kind of power they are giving these politicians, and making them see what these politicians are doing. Man, it is their job, man. It is their job for these people to come to the grassroots. It is their job to come to the township and speak to the people, man. Do the community imbizos, man. Allow the people to talk, man. Do the community in business and allow the people to talk, man. Engage with the communities. Go on the grassroots, man. If you are not ready to get your hands dirty, man, you are not going to take out the African National Congress. Man, I'm telling you, if you are not ready to get your hands dirty, you are not going to get out. You are not going to kick out the African National Congress just like that. It is going to be very hard for opposition parties to kick out the African National Congress. I'm telling you, guys. It is going to be so hard. So that's why I'm telling you that do not underestimate South Africans' loyalty towards the African National Congress. They have proven it time and time again. So guys, I don't know what you think, because right now I'm trying to warn people who keep saying that the African National Congress is going to lose the election. The African National Congress is done in 2024. It's our 1994. Man, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, guys. And I'm warning you right now that if you underestimate the ANC, man, you can underestimate the ANC at your own peril, man. Please tell me what you think on the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button. And the most important part, guys, please subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.